No Hipsters Pod.
There was one time where Tyler Perry surprised me with a cream-colored Bentley with tan interior convertible. That was a pretty good gift. I just went outside and there it was parked outside. So that was a surprise, and that was a pretty darn good gift. Just because it was a just because gift. For no occasion, a Bentley showed up at my front door from Tyler Perry.
Episode 29, No Hipsters Pod. It's your boy Ronce, the founder of NoHipstersLoud.com. And this week, our co-host is my girl, Renny Ayo-Vaughan. Renny, say what's up.
Hey, Ronce, thanks for having me on this week. Excited to get started.
Of course. Before we start, tell us a little bit about your company, Bites by Renny.
Yep. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I have a catering gig on the side. I started off as food photography, but I actually cater small events, private catering. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, nice. This past week was the third and final reunion show of Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes.
And it is widely described as a mess.
Yes.
Chris Samuels, Monique Samuels, the whole thing was crazy. Actually, let's first just go back to the fight. And because I think I've talked about it on the show. What I've seen is that not everyone seems to be on the same page. So when watching the fight, it's clear that Monique is in the wrong and that there are no ifs, ands, or buts, but there is a considerable contingency that actually believes Candace was somehow in the wrong and somehow deserved what happened. So what do you think?
I think they're both wrong. I think there can be duality in truths. I think they're both wrong. And I also believe Candace deserved it.
Oh, Lord.
It's twofold. So here's the thing. A lot of people don't pay attention or don't follow the behind the scenes. What actually makes the show great for me is that I actually listen to all the behind the scenes drama and
Gotcha.
that's brought on. And the root of all of this was that Candace sat in on a meeting where Giselle and Robin said that they were thinking of bringing up rumors that Monique's child was not Chris's child. And Candace never brought it back to Monique. And then tried to deny that she wasn't being a bad friend in doing that. And then, of course, at the winery, we see her continue to talk trash as she always does. So it's a combination of things. All I know is if you are in a face-to-face altercation with somebody and you say, drag me, I'm sorry. If you tell me that story and they dragged you, I just have no empathy. I have no empathy.
Come on.
No.
She obviously wasn't really believing that Monique was going to do that. It was a play for reference.
Responsible adults. That's why we're responsible adults. I mean, we can say that, but if I'm in a toe-to-toe heated argument and I know that the real reason she's pissed at me is because I was supporting the rumor that she cheated on her husband and I'm shouting, drag me, and she slapped me, I wouldn't be going back surprised. I mean, I would be embarrassed, but I wouldn't be like, I can't believe I said drag me and she dragged me. That doesn't make sense.
Listen, I guess I have a very, very, zero tolerance policy for violence. And so I usually don't care what happens before, someone starts throwing hands. I think that could have been handled without anyone getting hurt. And, but yeah, it's sad.
But you know what? We have to not, this is where Giselle wasn't, I feel Giselle was not dragged enough this reunion. We are all human. And when people, it's possible for people around you to instigate things. Monique first said she didn't want to talk about it. Candace said she didn't want to talk about it. And Giselle kept trying to get them to talk about it. Her hands are not clean in this. Again, I don't support violence. All I'm saying is I don't act like it's not understandable. So they're both wrong. And I also understand what got Monique to that place. It ain't right, but I understand it.
Yeah, it was a bad look. And so they had the whole, reunion. And at some points, it looked like Chris Samuels was going to put hands on someone, which was scary. Even just him raising his voice.
He stood up because they were yelling over him. Granted, Andy gave him the floor to speak, and Giselle kept putting her little mouth in there. He wasn't going to touch anyone. Please, with her fake bodyguard, come on. This is the second time she tried that antic. And please, we know Bravo got better bodyguards.
Right.
This is dramatic. She couldn't bring her man to the stage, but she could bring a bodyguard. Giselle, she's full of shit. Please, we knew Chris was not going to do anything.
Okay, all right. I mean, listen, but it's come out ever since the show. Monique announced that she's not returning for the next season.
Sadly.
And so, okay, I guess you want her to come back.
she was the truest. Her and Karen were the truest housewives of Potomac. And really, women who married rich and live in the Potomac. That is what we watch. That's what we watch the Housewives for. I mean, we have Robin in Hanover, Giselle living in the woods trying to fix up her little shack of a home. And then who else exists? Ashley out in Arlington with her perv husband. Well, I mean, what? And then Candace living out of her mom with her husband who has all these baby mamas.
Wow.
When it comes to like housewives royalty, Karen and Monique fit that mold. So to me, I forgot about Wendy, but Wendy's problematic.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna leave her out.
And actually, rumors are actually circulating that she might not be back either. Do you see that? That Wendy might not.
I don't know. I heard that she got a contract. I do not know. I mean, I think for just my mental health, I would love for Wendy to not be back. You just can't. The reunion, she spoke for 3 minutes throughout the reunion. Her and Robin are so irrelevant. Why are they here? They didn't earn that check, and we know it.
Damn it. I mean, I guess it's.
Do you have opposing thoughts? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Maybe I'm biased. I would imagine you would be too, since that we are both Nigerian. So I like the idea of her being there. Like that she is super duper educated. But yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, but she didn't use it to her will. So, like, I feel like a prime missed opportunity for Wendy was when Monique and Candace got into that fight, and she was trying to tout herself as this woman who was all about women empowerment. She could have been a neutral voice who actually helped facilitate that. But she chose to be in the pettiness. She chose to pick fights with Karen, and then she chose to buy into Giselle's antics. As someone who's so educated and has all this information about political commentary, she didn't even display that on the show. She could have really done what Karen tries to do, which is Karen has this thing where she tries to be uppity and grown. She could have actually assumed that role in a more authentic manner, and she missed that. She completely missed. All we heard was I got 4 degrees. Like, girl, which Nigerian doesn't have multiple degrees? Sit down, please.
Wow, cold world. Oh, well, I guess, we'll see. I hope she comes back. We'll see. I mean, who knows? But yeah, what a season. I think this probably was their biggest one yet, because I've never seen the show get talked about this much. So that's why I actually had to talk about it in this episode.
No, Potomac brought it. I mean, they really bring it because for the most part, it's not fabricated storylines. And that's kind of why a lot of fans do not like Giselle, because she touts fake storylines. But unlike other Housewives franchises, Potomac's drama is real drama. Like, it's not something just made up for the camera.
I mean, clearly somebody got punched in the head, so clearly it's real.
She was not punched in the head. Her wig was shifted. Come on. And I mean, back to Candace. She is so dramatic. Her own mom popped her in the purse. This girl is not innocent. Her own mother sent her to therapy, popped her in the purse, and she didn't make this much noise.
Oh boy.
Please.
Okay.
We can move on.
All right, let's talk about Coming to America, the sequel. The trailer dropped this past week. Did you get to see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's one of those things where I'm like, let me just wait to see the movie to really understand what's going on here.
Oh boy. So I've seen a few people like gripe about the jokes in the trailer. I don't know. I mean, I liked what I saw, but there were definitely some Hotel Rwanda jokes in there that some people thought were, not the greatest, but I
don't know. I felt like it was on brand though. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It sounds very on par with what the jokes were when it came out, in the 80s?
Yeah. And it was supposed to be like an old man in a barbershop. So I was like, if you've been to a black barbershop, that's usually how shit goes.
Yeah.
And so, I think I didn't, I was just happy to see that everyone generally looks the same. And I was just amazed at how well they've all aged. So,
we thank God for makeup,
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
Why couldn't you just let us have that one? Huh?
I mean, we got to give credit. They have incredible makeup artists. I'm so happy for that.
Let's talk about T.I. So he has this podcast called Expeditiously, which I guess is one of his favorite words. And he often has hot takes on there. And so on a recent episode, he was with 21 Savage, and 21 Savage makes a comment about, being more protective of his daughters.
Like as a man, I'm just naturally more overprotective of my daughter than I am of my sons. Bro.
That's also true. This is also true.
I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's because it's men. We know how we do women.
Because sons can't get pregnant.
That too, but it's like
sons can't get pregnant.
But we know how we treat women, so I feel like I just don't want my daughter to ever just run into one of them niggas.
But you can't keep her from running into.
Nah, you can't keep her, but I want her to know how to feel real love, so that she know how to discern what's the difference between the two.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think that's key. That's key. Being able to motherfucking provide the, you know what, me and Lil Duval call it thought prevention hours. You got to put in them thought prevention hours. Keep your daughter off the pole. You know what I'm saying?
And as you can imagine, there was a lot of uproar. And actually, it was actually a very funny tweet about that particular comment. And someone says, yeah, T.I., of course, that's thought prevention hours for T.I. because every time he's with his daughter, he's not out cheating on his wife. So, yes.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, T.I. has been, he's on brand with his trash. But, what did he do? He said he does, a vagina checkup on his daughter. What was that earlier this year?
A hymen check. Yeah, that was late last year.
Yeah, last year or this year. And now he's here saying, just preaching more trash. I really truly believe he's probably some sort of predator. He knows that because when the clip goes on, he says, him and 21 Savage say, we know how we are. And it's like, yeah, so you're a predator, you treat women like trash. And because you have that fear of your daughter meeting someone like you and liking someone like you because you're her father, so it sounds on brand because he knows he's trash. And so therefore he's afraid his daughter will like trash. It's terrible, but it's on brand with who he is.
Yeah, and the fact that he says this in public to me just says how not right he is. I mean, he clearly doesn't understand the gravity of what he's saying and how horribly it lands, because that sounds like the kind of thing like even if you did believe it, that you would say that behind closed doors. And he's saying this on his podcast with his face showing, to the world. It's
his insecurities pouring out. He knows he's a terrible person. He's a terrible husband, and his fear is that his daughter will be attracted to someone like him, since that is his daughter. He knows that. So it's only expected. Really think about it. When T.I. and his friends and his community of men do this on the regular, why wouldn't they be afraid that their daughters are going to go out there and be quote unquote thoughts? Please. That's because they know. That's on brand. He's a sad person, so it's expected, not even shocking. It shouldn't even be going viral, honestly, because that's what he does.
Speaking of viral, so on Christmas Day, this girl, a random girl, a known young woman, received a Michael Kors purse as a gift. And she, posts about it and is gushing and say, I'm so spoiled. And this other random young woman tweets about it saying that, let me find the tweet. She said, and I quote, someone posted a Michael Kors purse for Christmas talking about she's spoiled. First of all, Michael Kors been played out, and that's not being spoiled. And so literally Michael Kors has been trending for days now. And of course, a lot of people are dragging this woman for being so weird and talking about someone else's gift. Why don't you just mind your business? But what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's so sad. If I feel Michael Kors is spoiling me, what's your business? Why do you have to comment on that? If you need your man to go rob a bank and spend $8,000 on a purse, that's your business. But if I'm talking about what my man did for me and I consider it spoiled, why do you have to tweet about it? I think it's so pathetic. Now, I don't want. I don't hate Michael Kors.
Now you going all righteous.
No. Here's the deal. I would never criticize someone for being excited about a gift that I necessarily wouldn't love. That's rude.
So let me translate that for the audience. Renny said, I would never criticize anyone for being basic. So carry on.
I did not say that. You can be excited about whatever you want, just like I wouldn't want someone to get trash me for being excited about something. But the brand, on the side note, I don't hate Michael Kors. I don't love it either. I'm actually indifferent to the brand. I think it's not even about Michael Kors, the bag or the design or the quality. I think the company let the brand garner a certain type of attention. Like there's been so much mass production of the design that Michael Kors is similar to an Aldo. I think that's the issue most people have with it, is that he's trying to be he's pretending it's a designer bag when really it's a mass produced fast fashion bag. So that's the issue people have with Michael Kors. But I would not trash somebody for feeling spoiled that they got Michael Kors. That's not good behavior.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite at the price point of an Aldo, but I feel like it's similarly ubiquitous. Mm-hmm. But what people don't realize is that's how you make more money, by making yourself accessible. Yes. And Michael Kors actually owns Versace, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Oh, and so, a lot more brands. Yes.
Right. And so, you just, hate on it all he wants. He's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
the moral is just mind your business. If someone feels spoiled by a gift that you wouldn't deem worthy enough to be a gift that you're spoiled with, that's okay. You don't have to tweet about that. And so that girl should be dragged from here to eternity.
Let's talk about the year review. We are recording this on December 29th. This is the last show of the year. And usually I do winners and losers of the week, but I think we're going to do winners and losers of the year today. But just before we even name her winners and losers, what were the just standout moments of 2020? It's been such a crazy year that feels like 3 years in one.
Yes.
And I almost don't even remember every part of it. Certain moments stand out to me, Kobe's death and George Floyd. But what were the moments for you this year?
The cultural moments. Well, the versus battles, just the best thing that really, if not for the pandemic, we never would have, I think it would have taken us a long time to even come up with this. Specifically Brandy versus Monica, and then on the other end, Gladys versus Patty. Just a great black moment. Just wonderful.
Absolutely. You know what? I was thinking about moments and that never occurred to me. You're absolutely right. Versus was one of the gifts of the pandemic. And what others? What other movies stand out to you?
Meghan and Harry dumping royalty. I think that we don't talk about it enough. It's never been done. They first claimed Canada and now they're in California. People are not even talking about it. I'm like, homegirl, straight up getting out Harry to Canada and in Cali and said, peace out.
Actually, you know what? This might be the second, at least in the last century. I think this is the second time, but it is very rare. So I think Harry's great grand uncle abdicated the throne to be with an American as well. So
I know they are mad. They are mad. So I thought it was precious. And then finally, for me, the last two moments, the rise of TikTok and specifically the Don't Rush Challenge. I thought it's changed so many people's lives.
Indeed, yes.
We have influencers. We have a lot of people that have literally changed their lives because they, got on this TikTok challenges, and that was really good to see. And then lastly, all the black shows coming on Netflix. I'm like, wow, thank you, 2020. About time.
This is honestly, I was racking my brain for moments because everything just feels like it just blended into one big comedy / tragedy. Mm-hmm. So these are all really good moments. So for me, of course, I mentioned the tragedies, but there's also, I think there's the protests. Mm-hmm. I think just kind of colored the year for me, and just the racial awakening that followed, and just how many things happened. But I think really top of mind for me is really just the slew of deaths, because we had George Floyd, then we had Jacob Blake, and then we had Rashad. Right? Yep. Of course, Chadwick Boseman. It's just crazy how much tragedy we've been through this year, and it's just it's been a very strange year, and I'm just hoping 2021 is kinder to us.
Yeah, we will see.
Because
how much more? Really, how much more? Let me not even threaten it, because that's when the aliens might be like, we're up for a challenge. A challenge.
Right.
Let me just stop.
Oh boy. All right. So winners and losers for the year for you.
Oh Lord. Okay. As a reality TV fan, I do think Karen Huger did win a lot. Okay. She became a fan favorite of Real Housewives of Potomac.
Can I? Do you mind if I just interrupt you very quickly? What do you guys see in her? Because to me, she's very artificial, and I don't understand why she's suddenly so loved. I'm very confused.
Because
what do people see?
I also watch Beverly Hills, and Lisa Vanderpump is similar to Karen Huger. Here's what people are not understanding: is these people know how to twist events in their favor and it's entertaining. And secondly, they know how to turn businesses from reality TV. It's actually beautiful to watch. Like I said, I don't pay attention to what's on TV. Karen launched a perfume line while on the show, and it's in Bloomingdale's. She's now on HLN. Same thing, Lisa Vanderpump in Beverly Hills launched all these restaurants and became a multimillionaire. So they take their little $800,000 check from Bravo and turn it into millions. That's a win. That's how to do reality TV. And that's what she did. And she solidified herself as a celebrity legend. Like Rihanna loves her. All these celebrities love her. That's how you play the game, so that when you leave the show, you solidified yourself.
I'm highly fascinated. Like, I don't see it, but apparently everyone else.
You got to
does.
pay attention to the outside. And then another winner for me, a lot of people won't remember this, but actually it's Monique from the Parkers. And I say that because last year when she rallied people around to talk about how Netflix was treating her, she was met with so much antagonism and uproar. But in the height of the Black Lives Matter movement this summer, people's eyes were opening. And so I was happy to actually see her credibility be restored and people finally saying like, okay, we're paying attention to your story. And then lastly, another winner of 2020 is Mara Brock Akil. Again, having all her shows on Netflix, that's a huge what's the word?
A W.
Income.
That's a W.
Just so those are my winners of the year.
Okay, losers.
Carol Baskin is just, wow. Poor lady was out here living her life. She maybe got away with murder, and now everybody's like, she killed her husband. And then, of course, Trump is just, gosh, my favorite loser of the year. So those would be my two. Trump and Trump supporters.
Okay. Indeed. All right, so my winner, I think you covered some really good ones. My winners would be Black women, of course, for just showing up and always trying to save the world. We kind of owe them this election. So Black women for sure. And then Megan Thee Stallion, I think her star really, really rose this year. And, she's got 2 number 1 hits. And I think she's really, really on her way. So yeah, that was another winner for me.
Yeah, and then adding more to Meg Thee Stallion, I think what Nicki and Cardi should learn is just don't get in beef. Like, honestly, just mind your business. Don't argue with people. And I think that's part of the appeal, is that she's not contentious. There's no need to pick a side. She is who she is, and she's lovable that way. So I agree.
All right, losers. Where do we start? Okay, let's just start with the Black men that voted for Trump. So Trump got 18% of the Black male vote, and it doesn't sit right with me. It never will. And so I'm hoping a lot of people are doing some soul searching and asking themselves why they do the things they do, because it's just it makes no sense.
I'm shocked it's not higher, to be honest, but
Oh wow! You must know something I don't. But yeah, so black male voters in America, well, specifically that 18%, and then of course the Nigerian government for the grave human rights abuses this past October during the EndSARS protests, and I'm hoping something changes. I'm not, I don't have a lot of faith in them, but hopefully something changes, because the amount of death that we saw, like if it happened first of all, it wouldn't happen in a Western country, but like the world has moved on pretty quickly from it, but it's quite terrible what happened. And so yeah, that's another loser for me. And then of course Tory Lanez for being just the biggest cornball there is, and
his supporters, please don't leave them out, because
of course, yeah, absolutely. Like people who make excuses for Tory Lanez, just generally people who always come with like both sides of them. Yep, they're one of the biggest losers of the year, and so yeah, I think that's about it for my list of losers. Honestly, I'm sure there are more, but we'll be here forever. 2020 was quite the year, and actually, before we move on, let's talk about your hopes for 2021.
I'm daring not to have hope. It's just, I'm daring not to have hope. The only hope, I I'm going to say wish. Hope is too strong. I wish we would get a better handle on this pandemic. I just wish. I think at the very least, that's what we can do is as a global community, global entity, that is the world, that we get a better handle on this COVID. That's it. That's all I wish for. I'm not going to hope for anything else. Okay.
That's fair. You know what? I'm going to add some more losers, being the state of Georgia and the state of Texas. Actually, you know what? Most of the red states, and they're going to make this longer than it should be. And just, between like just being out every day and then not wearing masks. And of course, a lot of people are saying they're not going to take the vaccine. I think we have a strong 18 months left of this, unfortunately. All right, well, Renny, thank you so much for doing this. I hope you come back.
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Before we leave, plug your social media.
Yeah, you can follow me on BitesByRenny. That's BitesByRenny. Hit me up.
All platforms. That's Twitter.
See, I'm not
IG,
even a pro at this.
Same handle.
It's really only Instagram. That's all I can take. So catch me on the gram at BitesByRenny. I don't do the tweets because tweets are forever. So I don't even try to do that.
True. Facts. All right, episode 29. No Hipsters Pod. Talk to you next time.